learning process. Thank you, Uncle Steve. You know, again, what motivates us is the law, the one we're talking about. We have copies of the Apology Law and the Genocide Act in this maybe Lindsay.
Yep.
Whoever needs some, right over here. That's what I was referring to. So I'll bring up another guy that's been with me over 20 years, and he's a very, very, very accurate and good bookkeeper. He's also treasurer for our first. We have a 501c3, and he's the Minister of Health, Minister of Treasury for the nation of Hawaii. And so I'm going to have him say a few words and his experience with his use of apology law. Johnny Kirkley.
Johnny.
Aloha, everybody. I'm Johnny Kirkley. I was born in Alabama. And he wanted me to come up and give my testimony tonight. And I thought about when I was a kid, we all had to go to church on Wednesday night and give testimony. So this is my Wednesday night sovereign testimony. I met Bumpy in 1993 at a sovereignty meeting. At that time, I was living in Maui and I was building houses in Waimanalo, $1 million houses. So when I met him, I was sort of a millionaire, and then after that, it kind of went downhill. But shortly after that, this bill was passed, and we happened to be in New York at another meeting at the United Nations when this was signed. And so I knew something was going on because I was a real estate broker and a developer, and I wanted to know about Hawaiian sovereignty. I like living in Hawaii, and I wanted to know what the truth was. So this bill came out and told me the truth. And when I first read it, you know, the first whereas clause about being self-sufficient, well, I thought, well, I grew up that way on a farm in Alabama. We were self-sufficient. We grew pigs, we grew chickens, we, you know, butchered our own calves and grew cotton and corn and vegetables. And so I understood that. I could identify with it. And then further on in this apology bill, it talks about Chairman Senator John Morgan. Well, he was the guy that was the chairman of the annexation board that wanted to put Hawaii under annexation. And it was about 1894. And so he happened to be the senior senator from Alabama, which was also sort of like Inouye was here, the senior senator from Hawaii. Only he didn't have the Hawaiian people at heart. He was thinking more of taking over what they had, you know, because they wanted to use, the whole thing was to make, use Pearl Harbor as a fort to protect the West Coast. That was what it was all about. That's why they wanted Hawaii, as a position to protect the West Coast of America. And so that went on, and then as I read on further, I see where indigenous Hawaiian people never relinquished their right to their property or received any compensation. And so when I read that part, I thought, well, you know, here I am, a real estate broker, and I'm out buying and selling land and building houses and being a good American citizen, you know, at the expense of Hawaiians. And so shortly after this came out, Francis Boyle came to Hawaii and gave his interpretation of this. Now, Francis Boyle, I'm sure you've heard of him. He was he's an international lawyer, and he still represents us. And so, and in his law review, he says that all the property in Hawaii has a cloudless title. Well, that just, you know, verified what I already believed as a real estate broker, that there was something wrong. So I had just bought 5 acres of property in Kula because it was a protea farm that I bought, and I was growing organic vegetables. And I wanted to kind of get out of the house building thing and do a little farming. And so when I saw that, then I had bought this property fee simple. I had paid $300,000 down for it cash. And then I was paying $4,800 a month for over 3 years, and I'd put about $100,000 in it. And so I researched this title on this property, and I found that it was true. It had a break in the title. It was sold to some Chinese people for $726 in 1921. And so I started writing title companies, and I said, well, hey, what's the deal here? You know, I bought this property as fee simple property, and it's not fee simple. There's a cloud on the title. There's a break in the title. And so nobody would answer me. And so I wrote all the title companies here in Hawaii, and not a one of them answered me to give me a reason why. And so then I called the guy I bought the property from. I didn't go through a bank. I paid him the money. And so I told him, I says, hey, you know, it's not your fault, but you sold me property that wasn't legitimate. It's not fee simple. There's a cloud on the title, and I don't want to buy stolen property. And so he tells me, he says, well, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. So I says, well, I'm not going to pay you anymore. So he sued me, took me to court, and then in Wailuku, Bumpy came over. He was at my trial, and so I couldn't find an attorney to represent me on the sovereignty issue. So I had to represent myself, and so basically what the judge did was he threw it out of court on a technicality and foreclosed on me and threw me off the property. So luckily the village had started here, so they allowed me to come to the village. So I've been the only non-Hawaiian up there for quite a while now. Actually, it'll be 25 years next year that I've been involved in, and it'll be my 75th birthday next year. So it'll be a third of my life I've been involved in this movement.
Yay.
So we're hoping for better things to come. And but basically that's it. You know, I've been around a little bit. I experienced a few things, and I've always felt that you should follow your heart in everything that you do, and you should always look for the truth in whatever you do. And so that was what brought me to this thing as a non-Hawaiian, is because I wanted to live here and I wanted to live the truth, and I didn't want to take advantage of somebody else doing it. So here I am.